I'm at the age now, even though I'm a runner, I can't seem to lose that old belly anymore. I like to eat too much. I think I ran this morning, 5K. I digress, I'm sorry. I'd like to get me another cruiser. A bit bigger. I was looking at something in the Harley Sportster size. Not too big, not too small. My youngest brother, he is an 883 with a 1200 kit in it, I believe. My next oldest brother, older than me, that has a bike, I believe he has a 1200 Sportster. And my oldest brother, I know he's got a 1200 Sportster. Feedback I've got, I've ridden the younger brother's Sportster. Not very far, but I've been on it. Not enough to really form a good opinion, so I'm going to kind of lean on him a little bit to let me ride it a little further to see, what I think about it. It's easy to take people's opinions. Oh, it vibrates too much. You feel every bump in the road. It doesn't handle well. If it's a Sportster low, which is probably what I would get because I'm not very tall, they don't have very much clearance as far as ground clearance. They tend to scrape a lot because of the low height of the bike. So, there's just a lot of things that, people you talk to, different things you hear, and everybody's different, As far as the road, my butt's different than your butt, and what I can take as far as bumps and jolts and what is acceptable to me is probably different than what's acceptable to you. Therefore, just to take one person's opinion or even several people's opinions until you experience it yourself, it's all subjective. But even though it is subjective, it's information, and it's information that is good information that will help you make a decision on what you want to do. Everyone's time, and every little bit of information that you can get, especially when you're talking about purchasing a bike that's going to cost you that kind of money, is very, very important. So, I'm going to go over here by my little brother's house for a minute. I can't make this ride too long. So, I've considered that. Got to watch out here this time of the morning out here. I'm out here by a lake. It's loaded with deer. They run across this road just like willy-nilly, and they're overpopulated with deer. I've actually hunted them out here on a black powder managed hunt. They're just everywhere. You got to really be alert. You get hurt really bad. I digress again. I've looked at some other bikes, not seriously, but looked at them when I take my bike in and have it serviced or something at the Yamaha dealer. I've looked at the Yamaha V-Stars. Beautiful bikes. I really like them, but they're almost what I consider too big a bike for what I want to do. Not engine-wise. I don't think they built a bike with too big an engine for me. But for the amount of highway that I'm going to do and stuff like that, I don't need a 900-pound bike. Turn this camera again. If I pointing at it, the light. I think it's vibrated loose. Turkey vulture. We've got one of our favorite bicyclists. There goes Lance Armstrong. Even if I were to get a bike, I would say that 80% of my riding is going to be in town, around town. Kind of like I'm doing now, and I might have 20%, maybe a little bit more, that would be highway. So I've got to take into consideration just what is going to be comfortable in town most of the time. That's what's got me leaning a little bit away from the V-Star. Got a lot of weight there, and and it's weight that most of the time is going to be more of a burden probably than an asset as far as in-town riding. The bicycles are out today. But the V-Star looks nice. I mean, it looks like it's nice. I mean, the 650 is the same size engine I've got on this little cruiser bike that I'm riding now. You know, I'm sure going to be much more of a struggle for that little 650 B-twin, parallel, whatever you want to call it, like a Harley. I'm sure it's going to be much more difficult for that 650 to haul that weight around town, just because the cubic displacement just is not big enough to provide you with the kind of power that I like and I'm used to. Now they make a V-Star that's got a bigger engine, a 1000cc or whatever. You know, it's in the 1000cc class, all the way up to probably 1400, maybe even bigger cc engines. My brother's already gone. Huh. Now that might be a different story. That engine's probably got enough oomph to move that bike around comfortably with no problems. Turn around up here. I'm going to stop this video for a second. Back rolling again. So that big Yamaha V-Star looks very interesting, but from a weight perspective, for the type of riding I'm doing, I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't seem quite right. Now, that being said, kind of bike would fit the bill for me. I'm back at a Sportster size bike. I saw Triumph's got a nice looking cruiser out. That looked pretty neat. That might be a consideration. I saw some tests on it on the net. It looked like it handled very well in the tests. You know, it looked like it was over heavy, had good acceleration. Probably has a little bit more room than this bike. That's basically what I'm looking for. It's a bike that has more seating room than the one I'm on, but still doesn't weigh a ton. But I gotta lug it around town when I'm riding in town, and one that has enough get up and go to satisfy my needs. Another bicyclist. They're out in droves today, for sure.